Rishi Sunak, Sunak sunk. That's Nigel's new line, and I quite like it. He's performed his first U-turn, and I believe that's a new record because he's beaten Liz Truss, who waited, I think, a fortnight or so before her first flip-flop. Just last week, our new PM announced he wouldn't be attending COP27, which is this month's big climate beano, at the Egyptian holiday resort of Sharm el-Sheikh, because he was too busy working on his November mini-budget to make things marginally less despair-inducing for you. So Shooting the Breeze with John Kerry and Leonardo DiCaprio would just have to wait. The climate heavies then got out the old tire iron, took Rishi into the back alley and demanded to know what part of Greta Thunberg's imposing the usual three-line whip that Rishi didn't understand. So Prime Minister Jellyspine McSquishpants caved. This is what he tweeted, quote, "There is no long-term prosperity without action on climate change." That's not true. There is no energy security without investing in renewables. That's not true either. That is why I will attend COP27 next week. And that's not true, just to finish it all up. Lois Perry of car26.org is here with me. It is all yours, Lois. Go for it.
Wow, what an introduction. Good evening, Mark. Yeah, this is actually his third flip-flop, isn't it? Because we've had fracking, and we've also had, there was going to be a bonfire of the vanities of all the EU regulations. So yeah, this is number 3. But it makes me think, was he ever not going to attend? I don't know. Maybe it's all part of some bizarre triple bluff. You know, oh, I'm not going to go, I am going to go, I'm not going to go. Of course he was going to go, because he's a globalist, complete fanatic about net zero, who was always in the pockets of the coup, and 100% he was going to go. I'm pleased the king isn't going, but no, I don't think there was ever any question marks over undishy Rishi going to COP27 or not, to be honest.
Well, when you say you're relieved the king isn't going, I mean, that's really thin pick. We're now relieved. We're now relieved that His Majesty is not trashing the Constitution by inserting himself into a highly partisan, highly contentious political issue. I mean, that's pretty desperate, isn't it, Lois?
No, you're absolutely right. I've shocked myself. Yeah, it is thin pickings. Of course the king shouldn't be going. And to be honest, Rishi Sunak shouldn't be going either. But it would look a bit disingenuous, wouldn't it, for him, when basically he's based all of his entire lies and nonsense and his budget and all of that nonsense for the last for the last few years on the green agenda. But I'd like to exclusively reveal something tonight for your viewers, Mark. There is an alliance that has been put together of individuals, of businesses, and of some very high-profile, notable people who have been brought together by the energy crisis, not the fake climate crisis, who've been brought together to actually to form a movement, and everyone can join, and they will be doing an alternative budget, which will be published later this month. And I want the British public to be ready for net exit, which is going to be the next big thing. Forget Brexit, it's going to be net exit. And the budget will be showing everyone how we will be doing so much better. It's a pro-working people, it's a pro-everybody budget. And I can't reveal the name of the group at the moment, but I can reveal that this group has been formed, and it's going to be big, Mark. It's quite exciting, actually. We're going to take everybody on.
What do you say to those people, though, who say that net zero is the law and it cannot actually be over? Some guy on the House of Commons Select Committee or whatever it is said, you can't get out of net zero. Theresa May, the Tories passed a law, we're stuck with it, and you won't be able to unpass it because our MPs are so out of touch with the people they purport to govern.
Well, you know, all laws can be overturned. We used to have laws about witchcraft and homosexuality. I mean, they've been overturned, and they were as bizarre and as wrong as any of this net zero fantasy and nonsense. The MPs in Parliament, they are in touch and they do know what's going on. They are completely brought into this because they're either scared or because they're just at the trough. And that's why we need to put our faith in people that are actually going to try and make a difference. This is a globalist movement. Everyone is scared. Everyone in Westminster is scared. There are a few MPs that are brave enough to stick their heads above the parapet, but there needs to be more. And yeah, I mean, they know it's fake. Rishi Sunak knows it's fake. The whole thing is a nonsense, and it's actually an attack on all people, but especially the working class and the middle class. They want to take us back to serfdom. They don't want us in our cars. They don't want us to own our own homes. And it is time that the people are represented, because I tell you what, they're not being represented at all by Westminster and by the elites. It's disgusting.
No, when they talk about things like electric cars, there's never going to be enough electricity. There's never going to be enough charging stations. There's not going to be enough lithium mines in Africa staffed full of 7-year-old boys with rickets getting the stuff out of the ground for us to have cars. So it's actually a way of ending individual transportation, isn't it?
Absolutely, and they know this. They know all these facts, that, as you say, there isn't enough minerals in the ground to make the amount of electric cars. And the whole renewables thing being 8 times cheaper or 9 times cheaper, whatever nonsense has come up with on that day, that's complete rubbish as well, and they know it is. It's so heavily subsidised. The figures are worked out based on figures of pre-agreed contracts, which is not how much the energy is being sold back to the grid for. It's all utter nonsense, and the MPs know this. Your viewers know, or should know, that the MPs know this, and they're doing it to you anyway. Yeah, pester them about it, because they don't want you leaving. It's like lockdown forever. It is.
You won't be able to leave the house because you'll have no motor vehicle to get into. You're going nowhere. Somebody help you, yeah, as the Bee Gees famously observed so many years ago. Thank you very much, Lois.